Hi! Today I found a book I'd never seen before, a fun little book called A Taxi Dog Christmas by Deborah and Saul Baraka. I awoke with a yawn at the first light of dawn. To the window so softly I crept. I saw with delight that a blanket of white had covered the ground while we slept. Come on, Jim, let's go. It's late now, you know. All right, he said. Hold on there, Maxie. Today's Christmas Eve. We don't have to leave until later to pick up our taxi. Knock at the door, in burst Mrs. Stone with fresh homemade cookies and bread. Jim didn't know that she'd brought mistletoe, and she kissed him until he turned red. We all trimmed the tree and sang carols off-key. A fire was blazing so brightly. The popcorn was strung and the stockings were hung. Outside, snow fluttered down lightly. Whoops! Almost dropped it. We braved the cold weather, and working together, we built a big dog out of snow with a scarf of bright red and a cap on his head. He looked just like someone we know. We dodged a snowplow, then we heard a meow. I perked up my ears at the sound. We followed the cry to an alley nearby, and 6 cold, hungry kittens we found. Wrapped in Jim's jacket, they made such a racket that at the garage they broke free. The first started flying as drivers were trying to catch them before they could flee. And each lucky tabby went home with the cabbie, except one who wanted to play. She started to purr as I licked her soft fur and knew she was going to stay. With our new little kitty, we drove through the city to start our holiday shift. Store windows were glowing, the streets were overflowing with shoppers who sought just one last gift. The crowds came to see the huge Christmas tree with branches that reached to the sky. The skaters below put on quite the show as angels with trumpets stood by. Jim rented some skates and he made figure eights. He jumped and then he twirled on his toes. He spun like a top, then came up to a stop as I slid round the ice on my nose. The church bells were ringing. We all joined in singing the sweet sounds of "O Holy Night." Then we heard "Ho, ho, ho! Look out down below!" What we saw gave us such a fright. Right at our feet, Santa crashed to the street. Upon landing, his sleigh split in two. I lost flight control when I left the North Pole, Santa said. What on earth shall I do? Dazed and dazzled, we stood there amazed at the toys on the ground that were scattered. Dolls, ducks, and trains, and pianos and planes, and the rainbow of paints wildly splattered. Santa said, "Let me think." Then he gave us a wink when he looked at our bright yellow taxi. "It's perfectly clear what I need is right here. Will you help me please, Jim and Maxie?" "Let's hurry," he cried, as the reindeers were tied to the front of his new taxi sleigh. He then touched my nose, and up we rose. Together we saved Christmas Day. So on that night, our taxi took flight to deliver the toys Christmas Eve. Some say it's not so, but as all children know, in your heart you just have to believe.